Hey there everyone, I'm back up here in the loft with Weir Yard and had a week off. You've enjoyed the full layout tour and I've been away doing a super secret project that you'll find out about possibly in the autumn. But until then, I've been back and I've spent a morning doing some more work up here in Weir Yard. So I'm just enjoying some classic films, so you can probably just about see up there Jurassic Park. We're right at the bit where the two idiot kids pretty much get certainly one person killed and nearly get themselves killed and put everybody in danger. You can tell I really don't think very highly of the way that that girl acts in that film. I know it's in the script, but it's just like Muppet Central. But you didn't come here to hear me rant about a film that is actually getting on quite a bit now. It makes me feel old. I saw it at the cinema in Florida before it came out in the UK. Yeah, do you remember when films used to do that? But hey, let's take a look at what I've been up to. So you can see up there, I've glued down some trees just to make it a little bit nicer. There's more trees that I want to put in there just to kind of make these slopes a bit more wooded and also to hide, you see the line, the demarcation where the end of the model is. That hedge, I'm not really that happy with it. I think I need to do some more work there. Zoe likes it actually, I don't. So we'll beg to differ. But over here, you can see that I've started ballasting another section, and also this signal gantry is from Bolton Trinity Road out in the shed. It's going into the little crevice in the retaining wall, which was at Bolton East Junction, just up from the signal box. And I had a footbridge coming out from there, and that little recess has found its way into this layout, and it was the perfect point to actually put the signal gantry. So I fed the wires through. Whether it still works after all of the pulling apart that it's gone through, I really don't know, but certainly as a visual thing it kind of works. And then you can also see that earlier on whilst Ghostbusters was playing, great film actually, I've been doing some of my speed scenics. That took about 5 minutes from bare wood and baseboard to what you see there. No static grass at all. I don't think much of static grass. I think it's very expensive for the initial outlay of the equipment. A lot of long-winded multiple passes to make it look right. And yes, the end results are good, but just not for me. Now you'll also possibly recognise those two huts there. They've been salvaged from out in the shed, from two different locations out in the shed, but here they're going to be side by side. I've still got a lot of work to do up and around in this corner, but really it's coming along. I've got ideas, and those ideas will involve this roll of, it's like a Gauge Master, well it is a Gauge Master product. It's actually really good. It's sort of a grass mat, short grass mat, and as you see it here, it looks like something you could make a bowling green out of. And yes, you can, I guess. But what I envisage doing with it is it turns into this effect when I get to work on it. And I'm going to cut out pieces and kind of just rough cover, glue it down to form a sort of embankment at the back there, do my treatment on it, and that will just give something to be behind the houses and that. As for a road going somewhere else, I'll ponder that later when it annoys me that those houses have no access to the outside world, but I will work something out. And then once that back corner is done, what that will allow me to do is to get all of this ballasted, scenic work done, and the triangle of wood that needs to go in here, so that I can, if you just see the point there, get the final track feed down to the lower hidden sidings level. Now I have got plans for the hidden sidings. I'm going to be extending them at some point, and they'll be going down underneath here, and will probably give me twice at least what I've got over there. I'll have to sacrifice the nearest line, because that will become a feed through into the section. There'll be a load of points over there, and then it will come along there and go all the way down to the wall at the far end, which is actually quite a long way. It's pretty much the length of the entire layout on the top. That's a lot of siding space. What I want is probably 5, 6, maybe even 7 parallel tracks, and they will be full of a lot more rolling stock ready to go. Principally coaching stock, actually. What I've discovered is that there just isn't anywhere for my coaching stock, so I'd like to be able to keep rakes of coaches on the track. I've got a massive rake of blue-grey coaches, but also a pretty similarly big rake of southern region green, blood and custard ones. You know, you name it, I've got it. I think there's an intercity rake just over there, so you can see my full intercity rake. And I want somewhere to be able to put these when not in use. I've got a class 411 and a 419, a 401 and a 402, and they'll probably become semi-permanently coupled together. And certainly once they get DCC chips in, I'm not going to bother with sound or anything for them. They will be consisted to just basically be one long electric third rail stock rake. I'm not too bothered about there not being third rails here, and they'll be a bit out on a limb up in what is notionally the northeast, but I don't care. My railway, do what I want. Oh yes, we've got the Shagmeister has been visiting. I saw this in a shop. It's the Shaguar from Austin Powers, so I thought I'd bag and tag that whilst I saw it. Not seen them around for a while, so I think it's old stock. Also, things like the GMPTE bus, again, that's going to be massively out of area, but I'm not really too bothered. With all these other cars, that's going to go and sort of decorate the roads, which we're going to be going in over there somewhere. But there's a lot of work to be done in what is actually a very difficult to access point. So, top tip, don't build yourself away from a corner in such a way that you can't then access that corner. It was hard enough to do over there. That was really, really tough. And if anything, it's even harder to access that corner. So I'm probably going to make a pig's ear of it. But, you know, you've just got to manage when you mess up in this way. So other things that have been going on. Well, I have DCC chipped that Class 7 07010, and I'm quite pleased actually, because notionally it needs I think it's a Gauge Master DCC 23 6-pin chip. What it's actually got in is an ancient 8-pin chip, which was formerly powering my Longmoor Military Railway Class 11, and that was for a project. That project is now done. So that locomotive has gone back in display cabinets. So in turn, the chip, there's no point in having a chip loco that lives in a display cabinet. It did its job, worked absolutely fine doing it, but now it's relinquished its chip for the Class 7. So I had to extend from the socket. I wired some scrap cabling in, and it's not hardwired, but it's push fit. The DCC chip is actually sat down in the bottom of the cab, and it actually does work, which makes me think that sound fitting one of these is not necessarily a really hard prospect. I was quite surprised, being a Helgen loco, they are notorious for DCC chipping, but it's probably the second easiest Helgen loco that I've had to work on. The easiest, of course, being the Class 52. Now, I'm not sure where I've put it. I have actually chipped it because, I haven't talked about this yet, when I put my TTS sound chip into that loco, the Network Southeast 50002, when I got the lid off, I discovered that that had already been chipped. I bought it second hand in as new condition, and clearly the shop didn't realise it was chipped either, because it was set to work on DC, so there was no indication from the outside that it was a DCC fitted loco, clearly not been tested on DCC to prove the fact. But I took an 8-pin chip out, an older Bachmann 8-pin chip, and that then allowed me to unexpectedly chip my Helgen Class 52, which I don't have any immediate plans for sound, but it does mean it can now run on this layout. It's always nice when you find a second-hand loco that is unexpectedly chipped. The 76 was another one like that, and being a Helgen model, I'm actually quite glad that it was pre-chipped, because getting into that otherwise would have been a nightmare, and I probably would never have attempted it. So I get a fully chipped and running Helgen 76 without any real aggro whatsoever. Other things going on, I've been test building up a little signing on office for the shed area. This is actually from some of the island platform buildings that were out on Trinity Road, along with a section of awning roof, and I've been able to make a little building there. How successful I've been, I'm not really sure. I'm quite happy with it. I've also been out and I've salvaged some more signalling from out in the shed. This had to be fully repaired because it's been damaged for a while, but I've managed to kind of fix it, and that will be glued in once that far corner is sorted out. I don't want to do it sooner because it's just going to get damaged with me leaning over. So that's where I'm up to up here in the loft on Weir Yard. So a lot of bits and pieces going on. The scenicness is slowly creeping around, and I think I'm pretty much at the point now where what I have to tackle is that corner. There's only so long you can put it off for. So what I'm going to do is I'll have a go at doing stuff over there, and then I will film the results. I've also got the added problem that you can see this baseboard join coming down here. What I should have done is done what I've done down here, which is gaffer tape it before the track came down, because the gap's a little bit on the wide side, not massively wide, but wide enough that the sand that I use for ballast just disappears through it, and you can hear it raining down underneath. And that gaffer tape is actually just holds the ballast in place whilst you glue it, so you don't end up with like this huge gap. I really only started thinking about it later on when I was ballasting elsewhere, so that's a little boo-boo, as I always say. Private boo-boo reporting for duty. And yeah, it was a boo-boo. Other than that, not much else going on. Still got some electrics to do underneath. The points here where the two double slips are and the ends of some of these sidings still need wiring up. The control panel is in down there. I do need another switch to go, but there's two of those are waiting to be wired up, and then I can finish the wiring of all the points on the top part of the layout, and that'll be quite a red letter day because finally we'll have everything wired up. I think I've also, there's a pair of points over there for the going into the sidings. I think the last video I did talk a lot about this corner. Quite pleased at what I managed to achieve, but the points need wiring up. And then you can see there I've started building a bit more of that retaining wall. They're not fixed, they're just test placed, but I think that's going to work out quite nicely. I might bring them forward a little bit and use balsa wood just to give me a space behind, which will allow maybe some photographs of buildings just faded a little bit so that they look a bit muted by the distance, just to go along there to create a back scene. And then this water area here, I've still got to do something with that and build the bridges. Probably been leaving it about on the late side actually. The bridges probably ought to have gone in first rather than last. But I'll sort something out, and I do also need to sort something out with that point motor there. Put bushes around it just to hide it. Put a few more trees over in the far corner. Looks quite nice actually. Got some sheep grazing on the pasture land, and that's pretty much it for progress at the moment. Like I said, I've been really busy on my project that I can't talk to you about, but hopefully back to a couple of weeks of being able to film up here, and then I have to disappear off again to do some filming for television. Again, another project that I can't tell you about. Such is the way with TV work. But look out for me on the telly, and I hope this video, this update on Weir Yard has been informative to you. Don't forget to like this video and share it too, and also subscribe to the channel and you'll be the first to know about new videos as and when they go up. It's been really great to have you along. Don't forget to check back for frequent updates on Weir Yard's progress, and it's always good to hear how your model railway is going. If you leave a comment down below, I do read them all, even though time is so pushed at the moment. If I haven't answered Don't worry about it, I'm not ignoring you. I'm just probably away somewhere doing lots and lots of work. There's no rest for the wicked, but thanks again for joining me. It's been great to have your company up here in the loft. And until next time, this is me, Jenny Kirk, saying take care and bye for now. Today's video has been brought to you in part thanks to the generous donation of my fans on Patreon, and a huge thanks goes out to Anthony Kidson, Mark Anthony, Michael Churchwood, Bob Threeton, Alec Ralph, Anthony Hunt, William Wade, Wayne Johns, and Offshore Alan. If you'd like to help support the show, head on over to patreon.com/Jennifer Kirk. Thank you. Today's video has been brought to you by my books, Bringing Home the Stars, Twinkle Little Star, and also you can get the complete comic collections of All Over the House, Books 1, Books 2, and also the wacky zany Life of Knob T Mouse. Thanks, and catch you later.